Not really. I think I was hoping to get another opportunity. I think it just shows, for me, it gives me great confidence that the club's, in a really comfortable place, and they trust and believe in me, and they've got confidence in me. And I think today is just a bit of a formality for mainly our supporters and the footy club, but for me it's just business as usual.
Paul said that there was scope for some of the new guys to be leaders. Is there anyone that's sort of caught your eye?
I think there's probably greater expectation on guys like Tommy McDonald, Jack Viney, and obviously the senior guys that have been in there before. I think some of these younger boys, although inexperienced, show some terrific traits in terms of leadership and wanting to push the standards in the direction of the footy club. So, I think we really look at the entire team buying into some degree of leadership. Obviously, from my point of view, there's a greater expectation on myself and being more experienced, but we expect everyone to drive standards and reach a certain level of performance for us to be a consistently good team.
How much has the depth of leadership changed and improved in your time, Pat?
Yeah, quite significantly. I think in the past we relied on too few. I think now, as I mentioned, with some of the characters we've brought in, even though they're young, they display some terrific traits. We've got some guys that are in that mid-tier, fourth, fifth-year players that are starting to gain some experience. Tommy McDonald and Jack Viney, to name a couple. And then we've still got a few senior guys around, guys from other clubs and guys that have experienced, Melbourne of the past. And I think, we've got a great blend of leadership and experience, and those young guys have still got to continue to learn and gain experience. And I think, listening to Ruzi before, the most important thing is, displaying that on match day and under pressure. And as we improve, that's our expectation.
Surgery's never nice, but you had pretty sort of serious surgery, particularly on your head. You don't want surgery in that area, right? Yeah. Is it you back? Tell us about that and how you're back today for the first time.
I'm not fully training, but I get to integrate back into the main group. I had a disc replacement in my neck a couple of weeks post-season, so it's been sort of a 3-month recovery since then, and I've been getting flogged the last 5 or 6 weeks running, but now I can join back in with the skills. I got the all clear from the surgeon on Tuesday to slowly integrate back into some contact work and eventually tackling after sort of a month or two. And I'm probably about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ahead of where I thought I'd be, and hopefully get a couple of games in the NAB challenge, and I'll be 100% for round 1.
It's a bit of you had it done. Pardon? You must be glad that you had it done.
Yeah, I'm definitely relieved. I think there was some nervous times, and I debated whether or not to with my wife heaps of times, and but I think I was really comfortable in the end with the decision we made. I had a lot of discussions with our club doctors and physios and and the surgeon, and in the end I was probably pretty spontaneous about just rolling up to the surgery and getting it done, but I was very grateful a couple of weeks later when I'd noticed a significant difference, in particular with the nerve pain that I was experiencing through last season.
So it was pretty serious then, obviously, if you had to go through all those considerations.
Yeah.
There must have been some risks, wasn't it?
Definitely. I think any surgery around the neck region, when I'm getting explained that they're obviously the scars here, they're going to go through the front and pull you apart and put an artificial disc in between C5 and 6 vertebrae. It's it was pretty daunting, but I think the main thing was my future and making sure that that wasn't going to impact that, mainly with my family, and then in the short term, how is it going to impact my footy? And providing I ticked all the boxes, I was a perfect candidate for the artificial disc, being young and reasonably fit, and then from there I should be able to make a full recovery, and touch wood, it's been going pretty well since.
I saw Bernie outside. I think he had a plate or a disc just there. He's got like a protective cover on it. That won't affect his pre-system?
Nah, well, we unfortunately just had a little incident last week. He'd actually just made it back into the main group as well, and then busted his little finger, so he's got a bit of a pin in there, but it's pretty standard. Most boys at this time of year might suffer something minor like that, but that's not going to affect him in terms of weights and running. So a little bit of ball work, maybe for a few weeks, but he'll be sweet.
Scotty Pendlebury had a bit to say about Jesse Hogan the other day. He's set him a fair target for next year. What have you made of, I suppose, his progression, and Do you agree with Pendles? Can he do it?
Oh, it's a huge call. I think he's just throwing the pressure on him. He wants Clokey to kick a few more, I think. But, I think, for us, Jesse's obviously a super talent, and he proved that last year with such a terrific season. But we're all about, the team and having 22 contributors on match day, and providing he plays his role, whether that means he kicks 6 or, he kicks 1, but still does what we expect him to do in terms of, crashing packs and putting pressure on and competing and tackling and chasing and those kind of things, the things we really value as a team. He's always going to be a strong contributor for us and a terrific player for us, and someone that, all his teammates love playing with.
It'd be exciting to get Christian Petracca back this year. How do you think he's going with pre-season? He seems to be in pretty good nick out on the track.
I'm really excited for him. Obviously, being a first-year player coming in and with a lot of expectations, and then doing your knee, it's a pretty sad time, and it's really tough for him to deal with that. But I think the positivity that he's got and the energy that he displays, he's been terrific in his rehab, and it's been a real learning curve for him. I think it's probably been, in the end, hopefully it's going to be a benefit for him in terms of being able to develop his professionalism and push him to a greater level of performance and expectation on preparation in particular. And he put in a good, I think it was 8 or 10 days at the end of the season in America in a specific knee rehab place, and he's come back in terrific condition, and again he's been slowly integrated into the main group, and I'm really excited about him playing with us.